I am Chase Turner, a senior at Ridgewood High, a school that older than anyone care to admit. The halls are lined with worn out lockers, and the paint feels off the walls in some classrooms. The cafeteria smells faintly of old floor polish, and the gym always has an echo like it's holding onto the footsteps of kids long gone. But there is one part of the school that everyone avoids, the old auditorium. It's been closed for decades, even since a fire in the 1980s damaged the stage. Students say you can still hear footsteps, whispers, and sometimes a bell ring. Though the school has not used that bell in years. It's all start with detention. I was not supposed to be there. I had perfect attendance. But the new vice principal, Mr. Larkin, called me down. He's tall, thin, and always seems like he's smiling. But the smile never reaches his eyes. You are assigned to clean the old auditorium, he said, after school. I tried to protest. Sir, that place is closed. Nobody goes there. He replied, exactly. You will be alone. Good experience, right? I did not have a choice. The auditorium door was heavy. Dust filled the air as I pushed it open. Sunlight barely reached inside. I could see the old stage, charred in parts, with broken chairs scattered everywhere. As I stepped in, I felt it a cold breeze. Thought every window was closed. My flashlight flickered. The silence was thick, almost pressing against my ears. Then I heard it, a faint click, like a bell being rung very softly. I froze. The sound did not come from outside, it was inside the room. I started cleaning near the stage. As I moved the chair, I noticed a shadow near the curtain. It was not normal. It did not belong to me or to any object in the room. Hello, I called, my voice trembling. No answer. The shadow moved, slow, deliberate, toward the stage. It was not solid, more like a dark mist shifting in shapes that almost looked human. I backed away. My flashlight flickered again, and I felt a whisper brushed past my ear. Leave. I found an old journal near the back of the stage. That cover was dusty and cracked. The page were yellowed, and the handwriting even hurried, almost desperate. It belonged to a student named Lydia Mayfield, who attended Ridgewood High in 1983. I hear the bell every day after school. No one else noticed it. Sometimes I see him, a man with holy eyes, standing near the stage. He watches. I can feel him in my dreams. I am scared to sleep. The last entry was marred with ink and ended abruptly. My hand shook. The air felt thicker, heavier. As I read, the bell rang, louder this time, not from the ceiling, from the stage. I froze. The shadow on the floor began moving toward me, crawling like smoke. I trembled back, knocking over a chair. The noise seemed to wake something. From the far corner, a figure emerged. A girl, pale, her dress torn, hair hanging over her face. She whispered, help me. I wanted to run, but my legs felt glued on the floor. Behind her appeared another figure, tall, wearing a black suit, hollow eyes, no mouth, no expression. I knew immediately. This was the same man Lydia wrote about. He moved silently, slowly. The shadow obeyed him, creeping across the floor toward me. The girl reached out, but I could not touch her. She seemed like smoke. I grabbed the journal and held it out. The girl touched it, and the shadow recoiled slightly. I ran, heart hammering, lungs burning. The door was ahead. The shadow chased, but never reached me. I slammed the door behind me. The bell rang one last time, loud, echoing through the entire school. Mr. Larkin appeared in the hallway, smiling. Everything's okay. I nodded silently. The auditorium remained closed, but sometime after school I can hear a faint bell. Sometime in the corner of my room I see a shadow flickered almost human. I keep Lydia's journal with me now. I don't know if she trapped or if the man with hollow eyes still waits in the auditorium. But I do know one thing: never stay after the last bell ring, because the silent bell always calls. It was the first week of November when I noticed something strange at Maplewood High. I am Liam Carter, a junior, and I have been at this school since freshman year. Normally, the school feels alive: kids chatting, lockers slamming, the bell ringing. But there is one room that always seemed off: room number 12, the old science lab. No teachers wanted it. It smells faintly of damp food and chemicals. The windows were dusty and the lights flickered every during a day. Most kids avoided it, but that week I had after school tutoring there with Mr. Hayes, the new science teacher. I remember walking in, the air was heavier than usual. My backpack felt heavier too, though it was empty except of my notebook. Mr. Hayes greeted me silently and told me to sit near the back. As I opened my textbook, I noticed something: shadow, not the usual one from the ceiling lights. These were darker, deeper, almost moving on this own. At first, I thought it was my imagination. Liam, Mr. Hayes' voice snapped me out of my thought. I looked up. His face was calm, too calm, like he has been accepting something. Are you ready to start? I nodded, thought my stomach felt tight. The first day was quiet. Mr. Hayes handed me with worksheet and I tried to focus. But every few minutes I felt like someone was watching me from the corner near the lab equipment. I turned it quickly. Nothing. Then I heard a soft scratching, faint, like nails on chalkboard, coming from the back of the room. I froze. Probably a rat, I whispered to myself. But when I looked closer, the scratching stopped, and in the silence, I thought I heard breathing, slow, shallow, and deliberate. By the second day, I was anxious about going to room 12. My friends joke about it. It's just an old lab, Liam. Stop being scared of shadows. But I knew what I held fat. Someone is in the room. Something was wrong. That day, I got there early. I sat down, pretending to take notes. Then I heard it. Don't stay. I froze. The voice was soft, almost like a whisper through the air vent. I looked around. No one else was in the room. Who's there? I asked quickly. Silence. Then the light flickered. One of the old cabinets shook silently, like something has brushed against it. By the third day, I had started keeping a small notebook about room 12. Every sound, every shadow, every weird feeling I got, I drew sketch of the strange shadow, the flickering lights, the cabinet that moved. That day, Mr. Hayes was late. I was alone in the room, reviewing my notes, and then I noticed something new. On the notebook page, a faint handprint appeared on the paper. Not from me, it was small, pale, and cold to the touch. Even though my hands were dry, a whisper followed immediately. Leave before it's too late. I ran out. My backpack fell, books scattering, but when I looked back, the door was shut. No one was inside. Curiosity got better of me. That weekend, I went to the school library. Old newspapers, dusty files. Room 12 had been a science lab in 1950s, but in 1978, a student named Emily disappeared during a late night duty sessions. She was never found. Rumors said she was the last seen inside room 12. Since then, students reported strange sound, shadows and whispers, always around the after school hours. I felt a chill. Emily's disappearance was real, and room 12 has carried something dark even since. Monday arrived. I tried to avoid room 12, but Mr. Hayes assigned me a special project that required lab equipment in the very room. I had no choice. As I entered, the door closed with a sharp slam behind me. My heart raced. The shadows on the walls seemed alive, scratching, moving, crawling slowly across the floor. I tried to open the door, locked. I banged on it. No one came. Then I heard footsteps, slow. I whispered, Emily. The air grew cold. My breath turned white, and in the back corner I saw her. A pale girl in a faded school uniform, eyes wide, mouth open, silenced. I froze. The shadow moved toward her, then toward me. I felt cold fingers pressed my arm. I tried to scream, nothing came out. I remember my notebook, I grabbed it and threw it toward her. The shadow recoiled. She reached out and touched it. For a second, she looked, relieved. Then she vanished. The door clicked, unlocked. I ran, heart pounding, lungs burning. From the hallway, I saw Mr. Hayes watching me, his face unreadable. He whispered something I could not hear. I never went back to room 12 after that. Emily's presence, the shadows, the whispers. I could still feel that every time I walked past the lab. Sometime late at night, I dream about the shadow scratching toward me, and a soft whisper float in the air. Come back, we are still here. The school feels normal in daytime, laughing kids, ringing bells, teachers walking the halls. But the end of the day, room 12 waits, waiting for someone new, waiting for the last period. My name is Evan Miller, and I go to Jeffron High School, a small public school in a quiet town. It's one of those schools that look older than it actually is. Long hallways, faded lockers, and that smell of old wood mixed with cleaning spray. Every day was the same until the last period on Thursday in November. That's changed everything. I started when our English teacher, Mrs. Porter, did not show up. She was old, sweet, and always wore bright stripes. Everyone liked her. But that Thursday, a substitute walked in, Mr. Kane. He was tall, pale, and quiet. His clothes were too formal for a school teacher. Black suit, shiny shoes, and a tie so tight I looked like he could not breathe. He did not smile, not even once. He said softly, Good afternoon, placing his briefcase on the desk. His voice was deep, calm and cool. Everyone was quiet, even Max, the class clown, did not joke around. He opened the attendance sheet, but when he read the names, he said something strange. 30 students, he whispered, but only 29 souls present. We laughed nervously. He did not. There was an empty desk near the window. It had always been there, but nobody used it since a girl named Sarah disappeared last year. Rumor said she vanished during the last period. 1 month she was in class and the next gone. Mr. Kane walked over to that empty desk and placed a book on it. That cover was black with no title. This seat is for Sarah, he said. Staring at the chair, everyone froze. Sir, I said quietly, Sarah does not come here anymore. He turned it to me, eyes sharp as glass. She does now. The class continued like normal lessons. He asked used to read a short story from the textbook, but no one could focus. There was a chill in the air. The classroom clock ticked louder than usual. When I looked towards Sarah's desk, the book was open. The pages were flickering slowly, as if a breeze was turning them, but the window was shut. Then I heard it, a whisper, a faint trembling voice. Ivam, help me. I froze. My pen dropped, but no one else seemed to notice. I turned to Max. Did you hear that? He shook his head. Hear what? The whisper come again, this time closer. He's here again. Don't let him see me. I started at empty seat. The chair moved slightly like someone invisible had just sat down. At the end of class, Mr. Kane gave us homework. Draw the classroom, he said. Exactly as you see it. Everyone groaned. It sounded like a weird assignment. But he said it was worth 10 points, so we did it. When I go home, I sketch the room, the desks, the board, the windows, and out of habits, I draw Sarah empty seat. But when I finished, that was something in the drawing I did not remember adding. A girl face, faint, pale, half hidden behind the desk. Her eyes wide, her mouth open like she was screaming. I dropped the pencil. The next morning, I showed Max. He laughed at first, then stopped. Dude, look at this. He pointed to something I had not seen. Behind the girl, standing near the back blackboard, was Mr. Kane. But in my drawing, his face was completely blank. No eyes, no mouth, nothing. The Friday, I tried to avoid him, but during lunch, the announcement speaker buzzed. Evan Miller reported to room 204 from after school detention. I had never gotten detention before. I won't anyway. Room 204 was Mr. Porter's room, the same one when Sarah vanished. When I walked in, only Mr. Kane was there. He closed the door behind me. You are curious one, he said. You draw more than you should have. My stomach twisted. When? What were you talking about? He smiled faintly. For the first time, you saw her. Did not you? The air grew colder. My brain turned white from the corner of the room. I heard soft crying. He whispered, Sarah, come out. The shadow moved, and front behind the teacher desk, a girl stepped out, thin, trembling, eyes hollow. Her skin was grey, her hair hung over the face. It was Sarah. She looked right at me. Help me leave, she said. He would not let me go. I ran for the door, but it was open not. Mr. Kane stood between me and the exit. You should not have stayed after the last period, he said quietly. This room does not belong to the living anymore. He lifted his hand, the lights flickered, the walls began to pale, layer of the paint crumbling to reveal all darker wood beneath. For a second I saw something, a flash of another classroom beneath a older duster Bernard. Sarah screamed. I grabbed her arm, but my hand went through her like smoke. Then I felt something cold wrap around my wrist. Mr. Kane's hands. You should not have touched her. He missed. Now you being here too. The classroom clock struck 3:15 p.m., the end of last period, but the bell does not ring. It never did. When I woke up, I was in my bed. My mom said I had a high fever and fainted in school. She said they found me alone in room 204. No Mr. Kane, no Sarah. The school said Mrs. Porter would be returning next week. They also said room 204 was permanently closed due to electrical issue. But on Monday, when I walked past it, I saw the door slightly open. Inside, the black book still sat on Sarah's desk. I stepped closer and then I saw it carved into the wood of my old seat. Even Miller absent. They say the new English teacher never came back. And sometime, if you pass room 204 after 3 p.m., you can hear the bell, faint and distant, followed by whisper 30 students, but only 29 souls.